I see that this week or last week from Tom Brady, and I think it was a very unfair comment. You know, we seen them on the monitor jumping out of cars with balaclavas and...
Sorry about that, man. I didn't mean to startle anyone.
Do you know what? I really like Sesko. I think he's going to be... I think he's going to be top. All his attributes, you know, he's big, he can head the ball, he's strong, he's quick, he can use both feet. But going into Manchester United is different than going anywhere, and there is a big pressure. We spoke about the number 18 shirt, and he remembers Paul Gascoigne wearing it, then myself wearing it, and then unfortunately Phil Neville took it. Well guys, welcome to my house and welcome to my new show.
I'm not leaving.
Yes, this is the Wayne Rooney Show, a brand new podcast which you can watch on BBC Sports YouTube page, the iPlayer, and on BBC Sounds. And we do exactly what you'd expect us to do, as we get the thoughts of one of the best players that England has ever produced a couple of times a week. I'm Kelly Summers, trying to steady the ship, and that voice you heard at the beginning was Kay Kurd. He's also going to be here. We're going to be with you each and every week. But, Wayne, today we're in your house. And for those of you that are listening to this pod, can't actually see, we've got loads of memorabilia around us. Have you got this out just for us, or is this what your house is genuinely always like?
Yeah, no, I'll be honest, I've got it out just for you to cover. So it's not normally like this. But yeah, no, there's a few different bits there. Me boot from the Champions League final in 2011. And then a few little replicas of the Premier League, Europa League, FA Cup, my first Premier League medal, and the Club World Cup, and a England cap from the Italy game in Euro 2012. And that shirt is from my 100 game for England, which all the players have signed.
And you've brought along, Kay.
Do you know what? This is terrible, right? But like, I remember when you made your debut for United and it was in this shirt. Do you remember, like, this isn't the exact shirt, this is the one I wore. But it was this shirt I remember you in, and you cut up that bit.
Yeah, well, do you know why I cut it?
You cut it?
Yeah, do you know why?
Well, because your head couldn't fit in it or something.
My neck. No, because I was injured. I got injured. I broke my foot at Euro 2004. And then, obviously because I didn't do much gym work, but then when I was injured, I would do the gym.
Yeah.
There's a visitor to Wayne Rooney's house.
Yeah, so when I was injured, I would do a lot of gym, and then my shoulders and my neck went too big, so it actually...
So you got too hench for the shirt?
It was too tight on my neck, so I had to cut it. I must have been lost a little bit for second half, because I didn't have
yeah. But it looks amazing. Like that image always stuck in my head, because you came out with that cut up, and it looked like, oh, this kid means business.
It was just, my neck was too big at the time.
Those are the exclusives and the stories we are going to be giving you on this show. But Wayne, just talk to us about why you wanted to do this and what can we expect over the next season?
Yeah, I've appeared on a few different podcasts throughout the last few years, and I've enjoyed doing them. So I thought, well, why not do my own? Why not, give my thoughts on the games, on players, on managers, on the season as a whole. And obviously I feel like I've got different stories to tell. So yeah, I felt it was probably the right time to do it myself.
We are going to be doing this podcast twice a week. Am I going to have any issues with your work ethic?
I see that this week or last week from Tom Brady, and I think it was a very unfair comment. I mean, when I went into Birmingham, he was in a mess, really. Hence the fact that I went in, the players weren't really the players who could take the club forward, and we knew that. And I think Tom come in once, which was the day before a game where the day is a little bit lighter anyway. And I don't think he really understood football that well at the time. Maybe he does now. Which
I don't think he does.
But what he does understand is he's a hard worker. We know that, but. So that's why I'm really disappointed with the comment, because football is not NFL. NFL works for 3 months of a year. Players do need rest as well. And so I think he was very unfair the way he's come out and portrayed that. And listen, I respect Tom Brady massively. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest athletes of all time. And Birmingham do look like they're getting it right now, which is good. And I think what they have done is got the players out they need to get out. Because when I was there, you have Tony Mulberry, Gary Rowett after me, who also struggled as well. So But yeah, bit disappointed, but nothing too serious, so move on.
Birmingham's loss is our gain having you with us throughout the season. Kay, we briefly heard from you before. We all know you're a massive Manchester United fan. Is this a bit of a pinch me moment for you?
Oh, mate, if you'd have told me about 21 years ago, like when he made his debut, that I'll be doing a podcast with him later on, I'd have been like, what? Are you mad? I just had a kick about in his garden. Are you crazy?
That's not a joke, you actually did.
Yeah, I did. I think I done my hamstring, but still, like, I was like, I'm in Wayne Rooney's house. I was like, Wayne, can I have a kick about in you? So, yeah, no, this is crazy. Like, I'm just happy to be here.
Don't worry, Wayne, we can get rid of him if it all gets a bit too much. That's the intros done, hopefully giving you a little bit of insight as to what this show is going to be about this season. We're all about the big stories though, and I think, Wayne, we probably have to start with one of the biggest stories of the summer transfer window. Alexander Isak is, at this point when we're talking, still a Newcastle player, but the will he, won't he? Is he going to go to Liverpool? What have you made of it all and how it's played out so far?
Yeah, it's been interesting watching it because obviously he had Sesko, and you look like if he went to Newcastle and Isak would go to Liverpool, and obviously Sesko going to Manchester United has probably changed the dynamics of how that worked. And Isak he's a top player. I think now it's very difficult for him to stay at Newcastle because I think I've seen a lot of things with the Newcastle fans, a lot of them talking, saying he's gone about it the wrong way. But also I think behind the scenes as well, you don't know what's getting said from the board at Newcastle, from the manager at Newcastle, and you'd imagine you want him to stay because I think for Newcastle to lose Isak when they're trying to build and trying to form a squad to challenge for the league, it's a big loss for them.
If you put yourself in his shoes as well, like he's come to this club and there's been this new ownership that's come in, and he's probably thought we're going to sign X, Y, and Z, and like the only person that they've signed is Anthony Elanga. He's probably looking around going like, what's going to happen? I mean, you've been in that position. You tried to leave United for that reason, didn't you?
I think when you look at the difference now is obviously with all the financial fair play and PSR and all them rules. So for Newcastle, it might actually benefit them to sell him to free up money to bring more players in and actually make the squad a little bit stronger. So I don't know, but he's from Isak as well, to an opportunity to join Liverpool, who just won the Premier League. It's such a huge opportunity for him. So yeah, I hope he stays in Newcastle because I don't really want to see him playing for Liverpool. No, to be honest,
but how would you go about leaving a club as a player as well, though? Because is he right to not go training, saying I don't want to train?
I think he's been insane, has he, or is he not turned in?
He was on their tour, but then he came home because he had a minor injury, and then
so
he's
that
been
happened
training...
to me when Alex Ferguson left and David Moyes joined Manchester United. There was stories saying I put a transfer request in at this time, which I didn't, and then I think a lot had gone on with me and Fergie to the point where when he was there, I said, okay, I'm better leaving the club. And then Moisey come in. So I was still of that same opinion at that time. And we trained in the morning, was flying to Thailand for the pre-season in Thailand, and I pulled my hamstring the morning we were flying.
Was that a pulled hamstring or a pulled hamstring?
No, so I generally felt my hamstring. So I said, listen, it's better me staying here for a couple of days, get a scan. Obviously, if it shows that it's a bad one, I stay in, get me rehab. If not, I fly out with the team. So they made me fly out. I flew there, got a scan in Thailand, had a big tear in my hamstring. We flew back 4 hours later. So, which obviously, the poor security guy flew out with the team, flew back with me, then had to fly back to Thailand.
Oh my God.
So, so I think there's always two sides to it. I'd imagine Newcastle probably will want to keep Isak, but you know, I've been through it when I left Everton, where Everton wanted me to leave financially, they need the money, but you know, that's never really been out there or come out a few years later. And so there's always different reasons why a player is asking to leave or why the club is wanting to leave.
What do you think is going through Isak's mind at the moment? Do you think there'll be any panic? Because, I mean, we've still got time in this transfer window, but Newcastle are saying at the moment he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think as a player, you just want the window to close and know where you are, whether you're still at Newcastle or whether you're at Liverpool, because all this now, it just takes so much energy and, you know, constantly, and not just, you know, people at the club or people at Liverpool, you know, agents, etc. You know, everywhere you go. So you go shopping, you're going to a restaurant, you're putting petrol in your car. Everyone, and especially in Newcastle, if he's going out in Newcastle to the shops or to the cinema, wherever it is, them Newcastle fans are going to be on him all the time. So I'd imagine he's probably locked.
I think he's damaged the relationship with them, though.
He'll be locked in his house. He'll feel like he can't move at the minute.
Yeah.
So, which is a shame because of how good he's been the last few years.
Because I remember when you tried to leave, I was in uni.
I knew he'd bring that up.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to bring that up.
What was going through your mind at that time?
Well, I think we just lost Tevez. We lost Ronaldo the season before. And then I was looking, so Manchester United offered me a new 5-year deal. Financially, it was a very good offer.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what we were doing, how we still going to compete in this period of time, or are we rebuilding for the next for 3-4 years time to win the league. And then I've spoke to Chris Small and Phil Jones over this, so it's fine. So we've signed Chris Small and Phil Jones, not as direct replacements, obviously, but I did have concerns of where the squad were going over the next few years. So I asked Alex Ferguson the question, and he told me to get out of his office in a bit stronger terms than that. But I can't remember what day it was, but after that I went and spoke to David Gill, who settled everything really and calmed everything down. And 2 days after, I signed a new deal. But it was tough, as I was saying about Isak. I had a group of lads outside my house in Balaclavas at 3 o'clock in the morning when my eldest Kai was a baby, and we seen them on the monitor jumping out of cars with balaclavas. And
sorry about that, man. I didn't mean to startle anyone.
What do you do in situations like that? Because that's not normal to look and see people with balaclavas on outside your house.
Yeah, no, it was scary. I think Colleen was sat up in bed feeding Kai, giving him his bottle, and she woke me up and said, "Seen all grown men and look like late teenagers, and then there's men in the 40s. They look like." So it was. She woke me. So I went down. We phoned the police. Then I went down to the gate. And what they didn't know, I was going in the next morning to sign a new deal.
Did you tell them? Did you give them the exclusive?
So I didn't tell them, but they actually didn't. I'd agreed everything. So I was going in the next morning to sign a new deal. But yeah, I went to the gate. I was like, "What are you doing? Don't come to my house at this time of the morning. It's not right." And then the police come.
But that's pretty scary, no? Because you're going down there. They've come to see Wayne Rooney, and you've gone down there. Anything could have happened.
Yeah, but I'd rather it happen to me there than them come into the house. You know what I mean? So yeah, and after it, I think they thought them come to my house made me change my mind and sign the deal. So they're thinking that it worked, but no, I think football is an emotional game, and as I said, there, it is scary, and sometimes it can get too personal. I think fans have to remember as players are human beings, and they have families and themselves, and if you have frustration, I think there's banter between fans and players. Fans will have a go at players on the pitch, and sometimes goes too far, which I know, but turning up at players' houses and stuff like that, I think that's wrong.
But that's maybe what us as fans don't always see, the real life impacts it can have.
Yeah, no, I think, and as much as you'd like to say it, there's loyalty in football now is non-existent, whether that's from players or managers. I've seen it on both ends.
Callum Wilson's been sold, hasn't he? Or he's had to go. So it's like the club pick and choose when they're loyal, and I think people pick and choose when they're loyal to a player. But I think from a player's perspective, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you've got a short career, you've got to do
and I've seen it from both sides, from player and manager, where players, when I was manager, players have give a lot to the club, and the club are happy just to move them on. And obviously players who want to move on, whether that's for financial reasons, whether that's to try and win trophies or more trophies to play at a higher level. So yeah, I think it's no. We see it with De Bruyne now. Manchester City, everything he's done for City over the last few years. I think he come out and it looked like he was almost saying, "Come on, I want to stay in."
Yeah.
But then I get it from the club's point of view as well. As I said before, with all of the financial, implications on it, they can't afford just to have him there because of what he's done in the past. So I see it from both sides. It's football's a business at the end of the day now.
Is there any way out for Isak now, do you reckon? Or is that it?
I think there's always a way out and a way back. So I think when we get to the end of the window, we might go to Liverpool, he might stay in Newcastle, and he's going to have to just get his head down, and I'm sure he'll come out with some sort of statement. The fans might take a bit of time to get the fans back on side, but
one hat trick, and then the fans will forgive him.
It's and if he goes to Liverpool, then he's got what he wanted. It looks like so. Yeah, there's a way out, but I think this period will be difficult for him.
Yeah. You've given us the players' point of view. You've given us the fans' kind of point of view. You've also been a manager. What is this like for Eddie Howe, do you think? This is like, because it's been a nightmare pre-season, hasn't it, for Newcastle?
Yeah. He's getting rejected left, right and centre from every player he's gone for. And then now his star players going, I don't want to be here either. What's he meant to do?
Yeah, no, I think with Isak wanting to leave, it looks like then that's tough, because I think he's doing an incredible job with the players, with the team. And Isak has been the head of that. And to lose him, I think that's a big worry for Newcastle, because they're trying to build to compete and, compete for, maybe over the next 2-3 years to try and win the Premier League. They're in the Champions League. So they have been developing, but other players from the outside looking at Isak wanting to leave.
Yeah,
I think they start thinking, well, okay, well, why is he leaving? Why would I go there?
Because they ain't got a nice restaurant.
It's exactly what
Newcastle, bro. That's where it is. Like, where is he going to go on a night?
Nice ones there.
I'd like to stick up for Newcastle. I'm not from there, but it's nice.
I went to Alexander's testimonial there, just a few years back, and I actually stayed at St James's Park. So Freddie Shepherd, who, God rest him, has passed away.
What, in a hotel in St James's Park?
He had an apartment in the stadium.
I was visualising him sleeping in the dugout or something then.
No, he had an apartment in the stadium, and he's good friends with my agent, and so I slept in the apartment there. I woke up and went out and had St James's Park, the whole stadium there.
Oh man,
it was good. It was strange, but
honestly,
surreal.
some of the stories we're going to get on this show are going to be wild. Slept at St James's Park as well.
That's crazy though. Like, what is it? Is it a nice gaff?
Yeah, it was a nice apartment.
No, I just want to know. Like,
I'm also learning the dynamic here quite quickly. I looked at you then thinking, he's got a serious question to ask. Is it a nice gap?
Well, yeah, but I think
he was still angling to try and sign me as well. So, it was a nice apartment. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Serious question now, or should we move on?
No, let's move on. It's fine.
Okay, I think we've covered off most. Just to round that off, actually, what do you think happens with Isak? Does he stay? Does he go?
I think he'll go. Yeah. I think Newcastle, they're in a position where they don't have to sell him, of course they don't. But I just think if the player wants to go, and it's quite clear Newcastle can't spend what they want to spend, I think that money will help them rebuild other positions in the squad. So I think he'll go.
Do you know who they play second game of the season?
It's Liverpool.
Yeah. It's all set up, isn't it?
And they might wait for that. So I signed for Everton, for Man United, sorry. I was at Old Trafford, I think it was the day before I signed. Man United played Everton. And then I signed for... So it was weird, I was an Everton player at the time, and the Man United fans were singing my name. Yeah. So that was strange. And then the next day I signed for United.
What a great day that was. Okay, but the thing is with with Newcastle, they've got all this money and stuff. I just feel like we've seen with places like Nottingham, teams like Nottingham, where they don't really care about the PSR rules. Can I say that? But that doesn't feel like they do. Doesn't feel like they.
I'm going to stick up for the Forest fans. I call them Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest.
They get angry.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I got that a lot.
Yeah.
I used to call them Notts Forest.
But I just feel like. At some point, you should just spend the money and then deal with the repercussions later. Do you know what I mean? Just
and this is the reason you're on this podcast, not running a football club.
But that's what I think. The Newcastle fans are probably what came into this with loads of optimism, and it's just now they can't do anything.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is teams getting. They've been on it, haven't they? And you've seen Everton getting point deduction. Forest to get deducted points, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
that free though, isn't it?
they've been quite lucky because teams were that bad in the league that they actually stayed up. Where you were seeing obviously the City investigation still ongoing. So I think Newcastle are doing the right thing in trying to do it by the book, and I think that's why Isak. Isak. No, I think that's why Isak going will help them.
The reason I think you're being so cheeky is because you are a Manchester United fan, and of course you've beaten Newcastle to some signings this summer. One of
Just
those, of course, is Sesko is obviously the big name in at Manchester United this summer, but there's been a lot of forwards moving, hasn't there? There's been some big money signings. Who do you think's got the best deal so far?
I don't know. Do you know what? I really like Sesko. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be top.
Wait.
I do. I like him. I think all his attributes. You know, he's big. He can head the ball. He's strong. He's quick. He can use both feet. But going into Manchester United is different than going anywhere, and there is a big pressure.
All these strikers, like they've been like. They're not Premier League proven. Like when I'm looking at Gyökeres or Sesko, like for me, until you do it in the Premier League, I don't have any high expectations because it's all very well and good doing it in the Bundesliga where all the teams play a high line and you can go behind and do what you like. But like, and I think Gyökeres has scored most of his goals.
And do what you
like.
Yeah,
I'm giving you the technical terms for it. Yeah, and then with Gyökeres, most of his goals have come against like lower opposition in the Portuguese league. So it's not exactly like he's been doing it at the top level.
He's going to score against United, and then you're going to.
Yeah, I said top opposition. We're not top opposition at the moment, are we?
I played against Gyökeres when he was at Coventry. So he's been in England. He knows the culture. Yeah. Of the place and stuff, but obviously it's a different level, and now the pressure on where we talk about pressure on Manchester United going in, the pressure on him going into Arsenal, who haven't had a forward for so many years, is huge. I think the big plus, I think the Arsenal fans will love him straight away. I think because he works hard, he plays with a lot of energy, he likes to put a tackle in as well and can score goals. He just needs to.
But that pressure that you talk about is so much different these days. Like as soon as a player signs for a top 6 club now, there's all sorts of memes about them, like people like editing their photos to make them look slower and bigger than they are and stuff. No, it's true.
Is that what you do in your spare time?
Yeah. It's me just on Photoshop, just like changing Gyökeres' pictures. But yeah, it's like honestly, and that sort of stuff will affect a player. I don't know. You probably sort of stopped playing towards when social media started.
Please don't call Wayne old.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
It is, and you do need to. It can affect you. It can bring you down as well, but then that depends on how much you want to. You want to look at it. You want to take note of it, and what you find now is a lot of the players have a team around the social media who help control all that. But naturally, if someone writes something about you, then you want to look at it. So that can be difficult. But I think nowadays the number 9. Talk about it so much. Really now, the number 9 is there to occupy defenders. The goal scorers are coming from wide. So Isak is, goes against that. But if you look at all the goal scorers around the world, really, there's, you look in the Premier League, you've got Salah coming from wide, Foden when he played out wide. Who else? All the goal scorers are coming from wide.
How much do you reckon you'd be worth in this market?
Put him on the spot there.
250 mil.
I don't know. I've seen some of the prices paid, and it's very high anyway. I think it is.
Where you talk there about the forward and the role changing, and the fact that obviously there's more demand now on the players out wide to score goals. Is that why you're pleased? Are you pleased with Manchester United's business this summer? Because obviously they've brought in the centre forward, but they've also brought in proven Premier League players to support him out wide.
Yeah, but I think they had to change the attack. I think the attacking players look like they lost a lot of confidence. Some of them look like they didn't want to be there. And I think fair play to Amron because he's dealt with that and he's moved. Well, he's trying to move all them players on, and the forwards, the attacking players they brought in, I think will make a big difference. I still would like to see a holding midfielder or a solid midfield player in the middle of the pitch. That's where I think they still need to, hopefully towards the end of the window, they improve that. But
there's talk of Belabor, isn't there?
Yeah, I think he's an incredible player, physically, very strong. He's good on the ball. He's not the best on the ball, but I think that's Manchester United just need someone in there who's going to help, break up the play and let them attacking players go and win them games.
Fans happy?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because if you look at our problem last season was we weren't scoring goals. There was just no goals coming from anywhere. Højlund was busy trying to hug defenders for like the whole season rather than scoring goals. And like now we've got like 2 players that were in the top half of like the league for goals and assists. So hopefully that translates into goals and assists for Manchester United. But like I'm really happy with those signings. But like you said, I think like we need a midfielder.
Yeah, I think with Cunha, and I've seen question marks over his temperament and stuff. I think it's exactly what Man United need.
Yeah.
Exactly what they need. They need someone with a bit of character. And obviously I still speak to people in there, and everyone's been really pleased with how he's settling in. He has got a voice in there, which I think has been missing.
You need a bit of edge, though. Like,
yeah, of course.
Like that's what you get with amazing players like Cantona and players that have played for Man United. Like there was always a bit of an edge. Like it's well documented yourself. Like do you know what I mean? Like you need players that have got a bit of an edge because that provides that winning spark that goes on to create those magical moments.
But that also, in an indirect way, that protects you, the players, as well sometimes, because when you have players who've got that character and got that bit of edge, the other players who maybe haven't got that, they follow that, and that brings more out of them players as well. So I think, for me, Cunha's a really good signing from that point of view. And then obviously his ability on top of that.
The one thing that's very different, though, is he's been the big fish, if you like, at Wolves. He was like the star player at Manchester United. There's a number of star players. How do you think that changes things?
I don't know if
is
there is a number.
No, but is there? Like,
I think they're trying to find that. Bruno obviously is he's the star player, he's the captain, he's the one who's creating and scoring goals. But then beyond that, I don't think
he speaks a lot of languages as well, which is a good skill, because he's gone into that dressing room and he's already like a favourite. Yeah, he's already a favourite in there. So because
who are you speaking to in the dressing room?
Don't worry about that. But apparently he's gone in there and he's like he's getting on well with everybody, and everyone apparently finds him funny and stuff. So.
Yeah, he's settled well, everything I've heard.
Okay, well, of course, big game on Sunday, Manchester United taking on Arsenal. We'll talk about that in our review show, I'm sure. But let's move on to one of the other big stories. One of your mates has moved to one of your former clubs.
Yeah, Jack. I think it's a great time for both, really. I think for Everton, the way the club's been over the last few years, I think it was a really clever move getting David Moyes back in. He knows the club, he knows the values of the football club, and I think we're starting to see with the team he's starting to put together, to see that. And Jack is a player who can be the difference. And I think it's clear he struggled for game time over the last year. So he's lost his place in the England squad. So for Everton to get him at this time is, I think he's 29, 30 next week, I think, or pretty soon. So to get him at this time where he's probably in a position where he almost feels like he's got to go and prove himself again, I think it's a great time for Everton. Okay,
so you're doing podcast and this show a lot of the time, but you're also kind of acting as Everton's agent, I think, to bring him in. He said you phoned him and you spoke to him about the move, or he phoned you. Give us an insight into what was said on that call.
I seen him. I went for dinner and I seen him, and we spoke about the number 18 shirt, and I think he said there was 8 and 18 available, and he remembers Paul Gascoigne wearing it, then myself wearing it. And then unfortunately Phil Neville took it.
It's funny you didn't mention Phil when he talked about it, did he?
Unfortunately, but no. So yeah, he's took that and took the 18 shirt, which is great. And yeah, I spoke to him about the values of the club, and Everton is a club where the fans expect and they demand hard work. That's what they want from the players, and there's no doubt Jack will do that. But then he's got the quality on top of that, which I'm sure will make him a fan's favourite.
Yeah, it does feel like the fans are excited, doesn't it? The Everton fans.
Yeah, of course you would be. Like, that's £100 million player that's coming to your club. Like, I mean, it's not often you get a lot of those. Like, going to Everton. I mean, you got a few players coming in under Ancelotti when he was there. That you were like Rodriguez and stuff like that. Yeah,
there were some strange ones.
Yeah, but yeah. So I think a successful season for him will be like getting back into the England squad. I think he had a tough time at City towards the end of last season. Sorry, but I think, listen, man, after you've won the treble, man, how'd you come back from? I'm surprised he's still playing. I'd have packed it in after that and just retired on a high. But it's just that ability to get up and go again. It's
what a player he is, though.
Yeah.
Like when he's on
his day.
Yeah,
no, he's. I think for for Everton, they're getting a player who can take the ball and drive with the ball and get you up the pitch.
Well, we
He
couldn't
holds
see
the ball.
that at City,
But
though.
I think one of the most important things as well is Everton are known that they're a big team, got big centre halves. He's going to win a lot of free kicks, which he always does.
Yeah.
And for Everton, that'll be a huge thing for them. So I think
Do you think Moyes will give him that freedom? Because Pep sort of doesn't like players doing their own thing. But
yeah, I think with Pep, it's quite structured, and you stay in the same position, and and that's why I think for Jack it was difficult there, because what Pep does, he goes from side to side, and the wild players are playing 1-2 touch, and they're trying to break teams down, and then the little runs from the midfielders, the little number 10 runs and stuff.
I wouldn't want to be Jack Grealish. Like you would just want to play football and there's a dude with a laptop.
You wouldn't want to
going.
be Jack Grealish, I bet
No,
you would.
yeah, no, but if there's a guy with a laptop coming going, Jack, can you do this? Rather than just letting you do your thing. Yeah.
But you look at Ndiaye as well. So I think what Moyes has got there in them two is two players who can both interchange positions, and if it's not working well with, say, Jack on the left and Ndiaye's 10, change positions, and you need that freedom across your attacking line. We used to do it all the time with, myself, Tevez, Ronaldo. I'd be on the left and right on number 9, and literally you just defend whatever position you end up in. You get back in that position, defend.
Do you think they're going to do well then this season?
I think Everton will do well, yeah. I think
what is well?
Moyes is an experienced manager. He knows the league. He knows how to set teams up to get results in this league. I think Everton will be pushing for European spot this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That suggests
I hope as well.
Yeah, I just think it might be a bit too soon.
Yeah, no, I think Moyes, he knows the league. He's putting a good squad together, and we've seen him do that before, especially at Everton, and then at West Ham in a shorter period of time at West Ham.
And he done really well there, by the way.
Yeah, he done incredible, and it's crazy that some West Ham fans are still doubting what he done. Not doubting, but they wanted him to move on.
All of them wanted him out. It was just weird. It's like, this guy got you a trophy.
But the game changed since Pep come over. Everyone's playing out from the back. They're trying, and if you've got the players, fine. I think what Moyes is really good at is knowing his players' talents and saying, right, if we can play, we play. But if not, you get the ball forward and put it in the box. It's simple, but it works. So
is it going to be simply get the ball to Jack now?
No, I think they've got good players up there.
But that's the point.
Ndiaye up there. They've got some really good players. They've signed to forward Barry. I haven't seen too much of him to speak too much on him, but I think they've got some good players coming in. So I think, and the defence is solid. Jordan Pickford in goal. So they've got a really good nucleus of a very good team there.
Part of the reason he will have moved, Jack, is because he'll want to be in that England squad for the World Cup next summer. Can you see this season working for him and him being out there with Thomas Tuchel next year?
I don't think any Everton fans are thinking of him going to the World Cup.
Some of the rest of us are.
A success. No, of course, we all want to see him, but I think for Jack and for the Everton fans, they just want to see him playing and playing well, and that'll take care of itself. It happened to me when I left Man United. I went in the England squad, and I signed for Everton. I started the season really well and got called up again by Gareth, and then retired. Whatever, but so for Jack, certainly if he starts the season well, I think he certainly put himself back in the plans, and there's himself, Rashford as well, moving abroad to get more game time as well to a massive club. So it's going to be interesting. The competition for them wild players is.
I think it's hard for him.
Interesting.
I think it's hard for him though as well because of the age he's at. I think something we have in this country, as soon as a player hits 30, we sort of just start writing them off.
Nothing wrong
for
with
England.
being in your 30s.
No, there isn't. But like we sort of start writing off players like when they hit their 30s for England. Whereas like I think like other players, other teams, in the continent, like
in
the
them
Italians
tournaments
and stuff, they don't mind.
In them tournaments, you need that experience.
Yeah,
We've seen it with Jordan Henderson.
Yeah,
haven't we,
you need the
games?
experience in the round of players because at tournament football things can get tough. With not the best performance, and certainly with the way our media, which it's died down a lot now. But
you're one of us now.
There can be tough moments. There can be difficult times during a tournament, which maybe not many people see behind closed doors. There's conversations with players, with coaches, and players don't feel. I know it sounds mad. Players get homesick and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah.
All this happens. They're missing the children. So all these situations are going on, and I think them, that few experienced players in the round the team can really help them.
Do you know what I think we've realised on episode 1 is we're never going to run out of things to talk about, are we? There's so much we can talk about. But as I said, plenty more to come from us this season. How do you think the first show's gone? Happy?
Yeah, no, all good. I think...
You have to say that, really, don't you?
Yeah, no, it's being like
It's like him giving a post-match interview. Yeah, I thought we got stuck in. It was all right. The lads played their part.
No, but I think it's once the season starts, I think that's when we're going to have all the best stuff to talk about players and goals which have been scored and defending which has probably been quite bad. I think we'll have lots to talk about on that.
You happy?
I'm
you're
delighted.
buzzing, aren't you? What a stupid
I'm buzzing.
question.
I'm mates with Wayne Rooney, bro.
The good news, Wayne, is we're all leaving now. And if you want, he can never come back again. But we will be back again. Our next episode will be out on Monday morning as we react to the weekend's games. You can watch the Wayne Rooney Show on the BBC Sport YouTube and BBC iPlayer, or you can listen on BBC Sounds. We'll see you on Monday, guys.
See you soon.
See you soon.